Teddy had been sitting alone in the dusty corner of the attic for as long as he could remember. His fur was matted, and his button eye had long since fallen off. The other toys in the attic, dolls, stuffed animals, and old action figures, were all forgotten by the children who had once played with them. Now they all shared the same fate, abandoned and left behind in the quiet, empty attic. Despite the loneliness, Teddy had made peace with it. After all, there was nothing to do but wait until a child would rediscover them, or so he thought. But one evening, while listening to the other toys talk, Teddy overheard something that made his heart skip a beat. A toy soldier, one of the older toys in the attic, was telling a story. "Have you heard about the Lost Toy Factory?" the soldier asked. "It's a magical place, hidden somewhere in this house. It's where forgotten toys go to get fixed and be loved again. Only the bravest toys can find it." Teddy's ears perked up. A place where forgotten toys could be fixed? He had to find it. He couldn't just stay here forever. Maybe there was hope for him yet. He immediately decided to talk to his best friends, Kiki and Robo, about his plan. Kiki was a soft, fluffy bunny who had once been a little girl's favorite toy. Robo, on the other hand, was an old robot who had lost a few gears and had a crooked arm, but he still had a good heart. That night, when the house had gone quiet and everyone was asleep, Teddy gathered Kiki and Robo in the corner of the attic. "I'm going to find the Lost Toy Factory," Teddy said. "I want a second chance." Kiki's ears twitched, and Robo gave a low, mechanical hum. "I'm in," Kiki said. "Let's go on an adventure." And so, the three friends set out on their journey. They carefully made their way down the creaky stairs of the house, trying not to wake anyone. It was dark, and the house felt eerie, but they pressed on. The moonlight shining through the windows cast long shadows on the floor, and every now and then, they would hear the hum of the fridge or the wind rustling through the trees outside. Their first obstacle came in the form of a broomstick that had been left standing in the hallway. It was a big, tall broom, and it blocked the way. "How are we going to get past this?" Robo asked, his voice tinged with worry. "We'll have to go around it," Teddy said. He led the way, ducking under the broomstick. It wasn't easy, but they managed to get through without making a sound. They passed by a room filled with old furniture and even older books, but they didn't stop. They had to keep going. The Lost Toy Factory was waiting for them. Eventually, they came to a door leading into a dark basement. They had been warned about it by the other toys, who said it was where the path to the Lost Toy Factory began. They hesitated for a moment, but then Teddy took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Inside, it was pitch dark, but as they stepped into the basement, they saw something strange, a faint glow coming from the floor. They followed the glow and found themselves standing beneath a large oak tree, its roots spreading across the floor. At the base of the tree was a small, shimmering door. "This is it," Teddy whispered. "This is the door to the Lost Toy Factory." The door was just big enough for them to crawl through. They hesitated for a moment, then stepped through. On the other side, they found themselves in a place unlike anything they had ever seen before. The Lost Toy Factory was a magical workshop, filled with toys of every kind: dolls, action figures, stuffed animals, and even broken toy trains. Tiny glowing creatures fluttered around, their wings sparkling in the soft light. They worked tirelessly, sewing, stitching, and fixing the toys that had been forgotten. Teddy, Kiki, and Robo couldn't believe their eyes. It was a place of wonder, where toys that had been left behind could be given a second chance at life. A tiny fairy, who was no bigger than a doll, fluttered over to them. "What brings you here?" she asked, her voice as soft as the wind. We were forgotten," Teddy said. "We want to be loved again." The fairy smiled kindly. "You are in the right place. Here, every toy deserves a second chance. We fix what is broken and give new life to those who have been abandoned." The fairy led them to a table, where a team of tiny workers began to fix Teddy. They stuffed his fur with soft cotton, sewed up the holes, and even gave him a new button eye to replace the one that had fallen off. Kiki and Robo were also fixed, and soon they felt brand new. "Thank you," Teddy said. his voice full of gratitude. The fairy smiled. "You are welcome. You will never be forgotten again." After their repairs were complete, the fairy told them it was time to go back. "You have found what you needed," she said. "Go back home and know that you are loved." With hearts full of happiness, Teddy, Kiki, and Robo left the lost toy factory. They crawled back through the small door and made their way back to the attic. They weren't forgotten anymore. They had been given a second chance. And while they weren't sure what the future held, they knew one thing for sure: they were no longer lost. From that night on, Teddy and his friends knew that they were loved, just as they were. And whenever they looked at the stars through the attic window, they couldn't help but smile, knowing that sometimes even the most forgotten toys could find their way home.